It smells. It smells like.
Thank you, Matthew.
I want to.
Okay. Why did you guys decide to change your name from Coxnot to Stressors? Is this a new band or is it a reformed Coxnot?
You want to answer this?
Oh, I don't know. They were tired of the name.
Yeah, I was tired of it. Like, I remember on Coxnot played a show at your house, and then I don't know. It's just like little. I made that name up like a couple of years ago. It's just some like. I guess I'm taking music more seriously now.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's something we made it at 16 or 15, but
Who's counting?
yeah, exactly. But it basically was that if you it has this kind of weird connotation. Although what I did notice is once we did change the name, there was an outcry of
People wanting to just keep it.
yeah, wanting us to keep it, which was odd, but I don't know. That's punk in the Bay, I guess.
Yeah, what's your guys' correlation to Skull Stomp?
We played our first show with Skull Stomp, and then
Oh yeah.
thanks to Ed actually, or was it Ed or maybe even you? We got. I think it was Ed. Ed asked us for the show, asked us to play a show
It was because
as the Fall Down.
It was because the Cassavetes couldn't play.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Or, no, the Dismay couldn't play.
They couldn't play either, but like the Cassavetes were gonna play, but as Justin told me, like Kyle had to go on a camping trip or something like that. But I don't know. It was a mystery to me, like how we actually like got the show, but it was a very important show.
It was,
I think.
Yeah,
Which show, where was that show?
that was
Lucky's
the
Pizza.
Lucky Pizza. May 13th, 2000.
That was your guys' first show as
Coxstomp.
Coxstomp?
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter at the time, I suppose.
Alright, you guys first form as Coxnot. What bands are you inspiring to be like at that point in time?
Mm-hmm.
Local bands, foreign bands, big
Well,
bands?
Minor Threat was definitely.
Yeah, big, because like I don't know. At the time for me, like Minor Threat was like the fastest shit I had ever heard like thus far. So I was always trying to push my drumming. I wanted to play stuff. I wanted to play stuff really fast like that.
What happened in the latter time is we strove to try to be as unique as possible. Like we had this.
we got faster.
We got faster, but there was also like me and Matt. When Matt would write music, he would write a riff or something, and he has this huge collection of riffs on his old computer. There's just there's just lines and lines of like hundreds and hundreds of songs.
Stuff he records and like stuff that even like comes up and he brings out to this day.
Right. But what happened is he had this in this big database of riffs that we were going to write songs with. He would identify riffs that sounded like something else in other songs, and then we couldn't use them because it sounded like it was some other song. So we would have to like change songs or have to
Did Coxnot have any official releases?
one.
Just one.
Like a CD or whatever.
It was a CD. It was just a CDR I would print out whenever I felt like.
Yeah, that was the stuff we recorded with Whack. When we recorded with Austin way back in the day, like he didn't even.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't do anything.
He didn't even mix it. Like when I moved back from Washington, Neil was telling me how like he was talking to Austin. Like Austin was like, "Yeah, man." One day, I was like hella stoned, and I didn't even record those. I didn't even mix those songs.
Yeah, you can tell.
He didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we didn't do anything with those songs.
We paid him too. I don't get why. Someone like Black America, who didn't pay him at all, and it came out really well. We paid him, and he didn't do anything.
Took all our money and gave us a ride to bar later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Got lost. So that's the one official release would be Suburban Terrorist.
Yes.
Who writes most of the lyrics?
Me.
For Stressors, he does. I mean, for Coxnot, it was mostly me.
And John. In the very beginning,
John, but yeah.
I wrote like all
the first like 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Reformed, or whatever you want to call it, the Reformed era, it was all me. And then basically for this, it's all Matt, and Matt writes a lot of the songs. The only thing, I don't really contribute that much. I contribute maybe a song for each Stressors release. I will contribute 1 song, and that's about it. And Stressors is not Reformed Coxnot, and to further reinforce that point, that's I believe one of the reasons why Egret left Stressors.
Yeah, he said, Egret, there you are. No, he said, I guess he felt like, oh yeah, we should talk about that, why Egret left.
Egret left because we turned into a serious band.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in a serious band, which seems kind of...
I mean, it's not really. I mean...
Well, I mean, it makes sense for him, but
Well,
I don't know.
I guess, yeah, we
Is that when Kevin joined? When Egret left?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, there's like...
There was a really, really, really quick transition period where we had...
way quicker than we thought, because like who else of a high enough caliber as like a bass player would be able to like come in and learn all our songs and be able to like
in a week.
Yeah, and be able to like hang with the kind of stuff we're writing. And like Kevin's an outstanding bass player, like from like just seeing that Trash Vampire show at that girl's garage.
We just heard there was like a really good bass player in like a local band, so it's pretty convenient to live close by.
Kevin, when you first heard these guys wanted you to join their band, did you think, fuck that shit, I'm in Trash Vampire? Or did you...
No, not at all. Because, like, the thing about Trash Vampire is we're very inactive. Like, it's a whole bunch of people who are my age, which is 16 years old, and then, like, their parents don't let them play, like, shows or anything, and they're just too young to do anything. So I was stoked because I knew I'd actually be able to play shows a lot more and be more in a serious band, like, go farther and stuff, do more recording and everything you do with a band.
But at this point in Stressors, Matt writes those songs and most of the lyrics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Matty A and the Stressors?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Huh.
It's yeah. I have no qualms with that. He's an excellent writer in all regards. It's like he writes. I mean, this like kind of. I don't know who else can write the music that he writes. And then, in terms of lyrics, it's like, I don't know. I agree with what he says.
For a while, like I had no idea what we even like really wrote songs about.
Same here.
Man, sensations.
That was kind of how I was with the bands I used to be in, like, not Costume, but like Schizos. I used to play bass in a band called the Schizos or whatever, and I never paid attention to any of the lyrics, and later when I looked them up, it's just a bunch of stuff that I didn't really care about, like I didn't even think was worth writing about. Like, I hate some girl at my school because whatever reason, I don't know, it's just like... So I think it's definitely good to pay attention to your own band's lyrics, like, I don't know, because some people are just in bands and they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't know what their singer is talking about. It just seems like you should know.
What's your guys' new tape called?
The Wailing and the Gnashing of Teeth.
There's no
Wailing
He
and
said,
gnashing of teeth.
I said Wailing and the Gnashing.
No?
Is it the Wailing?
You have to look at the tape.
Wailing and the gnashing of teeth.
Yeah, it's like a biblical verse. Comes from that. It's just about like hell, and that's what the song is about. It's the last song
This is my hell.
on the tape. Yeah, it's about hell.
It's about...
What are most of your guys' lyrics about?
I'm really interested in like psychology, basically abnormal psychology. So some of our songs talk about that and like kind of like mental deterioration, just like what makes people act the way they do, and just like the process of like losing your mind. I think a lot of our songs kind of touch on this. To a lesser extent, like what, like my life or experiences or whatever. But you know.
How close are you guys as friends? Are you friends outside your band? Do you hang out? Do you go to similar schools, same schools? How did you meet?
None of
Okay. Matt, Noah, and I used to go to Cal High, and like
Yeah.
that's how we were friends. I was in marching band with Matt, and No, it was a punk.
Matt,
You were a sophomore.
I met, no, it was freshman.
He was a freshman, I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
We met in science class because he was wearing like an anarchy sweatshirt, and we like started talking about that.
He questioned whether...
I asked him if he knew what anarchy was because I thought it was gonna be some like random kid. He's like, "Whoa, I just like the symbol."
First time.
He thought it was a crust fun.
First time I met Noah was he was in my PE class, and we had like that reading bullshit one day, and he was wearing a TSOL sweatshirt, and I was like, "Oh, TSOL, that's a good band." He's like, "Have you even heard of them?" And I'm like,
I was skeptical. I didn't believe
we're all
it.
questioning each other's punk credentials.
How do you guys feel about the current state of punk and hardcore, and how do you feel you guys fit in to modern day hardcore?
Matt, you wanted to answer this question? No, okay. I think right now the why am I the current state of punk in the Bay Area is it's pretty moderate. It's not barren. There's a lot going on, and I think there are still, there's still room for a lot. There's a lot of good bands. There's still Migraine, E. coli, Zero Progress, not in that order, and Neocons and whatever. There's a lot of bands. There's a lot of good bands that are playing, and the problem is in terms of like there seems to be like there are divisions amongst these people that would definitely be if we solidified it through resolving whatever differences we had, it would be an even better scene, and I think it would be more inviting, and people would be.
But yeah, actually, one of our songs is about kind of how some of the, I don't know what to call them, like they're kind of about what you're talking about with how people like past bands a lot. Like there used to be kind of big bands that everyone rallied around and everyone liked, and then a lot of those bands are just gone now, and that's one of the songs on our tape is like Death Valley. It's kind of about that and how a lot of the bigger bands that everyone used to love, kind of, they're gone now, and then it's kind of like fragmented.
How do you guys feel, speaking of the song Death Valley, how do you guys feel about being associated with the Valley and being considered a band from the Valley?
I love it. Me too.
I don't care.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
I like it just as it's a chance to identify with.
Like it's what we have, like, so to speak, like in the punk scene, like, like everybody has where they're from, and that's where they like stick to it. And like, I don't know, you'd think being from somewhere like here, you think you'd be embarrassed about it, and I don't think it's very embarrassing. I mean, I don't hang out in Danville a lot because like it has nothing to offer me, but like I'm glad to be playing in a band from this area and have all my friends be like playing music from this area, all playing the same kind of stuff. Like I was really stoked on the first Beat Guts show that Trash Vampire played because, you know, boom, two new bands from our area that, you know, like the same shit. Granted, Beat Guts, you know, like Justin Hippie, like